Hey everyone, welcome back to SwitchTop. Today we're checking out my top 20 roguelike games on Nintendo Switch. If you're new to roguelikes, these are games where you start fresh each run, rooms and items change every time, and when you die, you usually lose most of your progress, but keep some upgrades to help you get further next time. These games are super addictive and perfect for playing in short bursts or long sessions on your Switch. Let's dive right in. Nobody Saves the World puts you in the shoes of nobody, a pale blank character who finds a magic wand that lets them transform into different forms like a rat, knight, horse, or even a zombie. The game has you exploring dungeons that change layouts each time you enter them. As you complete quests, you unlock new forms and can mix and match abilities between them, like giving your rat form the knight's sword attack. Combat feels great as you dash around taking down enemies, and there's tons of humor in the quests and story. The best part is unlocking all the different forms and creating crazy combinations of abilities that work together in ways the developers never expected. You can even play the whole game in co-op with a friend. Shogun Showdown is a deck-building roguelike where you're a samurai fighting through waves of enemies on your way to defeat the shogun. The twist is that instead of cards, you use attack tiles that you arrange in a small hand. Each tile has different moves like slashes, dashes, or blocks, and the order you put them in matters. Enemies telegraph their attacks with symbols above their heads, so you need to quickly decide which tiles to use and when. As you progress, you'll unlock new warriors with different starting tiles and skills. After each battle, you can add new attack tiles to your collection or upgrade existing ones. The game has this awesome art style that looks like an old Japanese painting, but with a modern pixel twist. When everything clicks and you chain together the perfect series of attacks, it feels amazing. Children of Morta tells the story of the Bergson family, guardians of Mount Morta, who must fight back against an evil corruption spreading across the land. What makes this game stand out is how it focuses on the whole family. Each playable character is a different family member with totally different playstyles. You've got John with his sword and shield, Linda with her bow, Kevin with his fast daggers, and more. Between runs, you return to the family home where you see story scenes that develop the characters and their relationships. The pixel art is gorgeous with tons of detail, and the narrator's voice adds so much atmosphere. As you play, you level up individual characters, but also unlock family-wide upgrades that help everyone. Even when you fail a run, seeing more of the family's story makes it worth it. Spelunky 2 takes you to the moon for some of the most challenging cave exploring ever. You play as Anna, daughter of the first game's hero, as she searches for her missing parents. The goal sounds simple: get from the top of each level to the exit at the bottom, but Spelunky is famous for how everything interacts in unexpected ways. Shoot a flying enemy and it might drop on a bomb that blows up a turkey, that sets off a trap that releases a boulder that you get the idea. Each area has different enemies and hazards, from bats and spiders to lava and crushing blocks. You can collect gold to buy items in shops, rescue pets for extra health, and find shortcuts in secret areas. What makes Spelunky special is how you're always learning something new, even when you die in seconds. And you will die a lot, but it never feels unfair, just that you need to be more careful next time. Cult of the Lamb has you playing as a possessed lamb saved from sacrifice by a mysterious stranger who asks you to build a cult in their name in return. The game brilliantly combines dungeon crawling with cult management. Half the game is going on runs through randomized areas, fighting bosses, and converting followers. Combat is fast and fun with different weapons and curses, magic attacks. The other half is running your cult, building structures, creating food, and keeping followers happy through sermons and rituals. Your followers can get sick, grow old, or even rebel if you don't treat them well. The cartoony but dark art style is perfect, making cute animals doing disturbing things somehow work. There's tons of ways to run your cult. Will you be loving and kind, or sacrifice followers for power? Every run gets you more resources to build up your base, making the next run easier. Vampire Survivors flips the usual action game on its head. Instead of dodging attacks, you focus on dishing them out. The game has super simple controls where you just move around while your character attacks automatically. The real gameplay is about choosing the right upgrades as you level up. Starting with just a basic weapon, you'll soon be filling the entire screen with attacks as thousands of enemies close in. The game throws more monsters at you as time passes, creating this amazing build-up where you're barely surviving until you get that perfect combination of weapons and upgrades. Then you become an unstoppable death machine, until even stronger enemies show up. There are tons of characters to unlock, each starting with different weapons and bonuses. The pixel art style keeps things running smoothly even when the screen is completely full of action. It's the perfect just one more run game that's impossible to put down. Slay the Spire takes card games and roguelikes and smashes them together to create something amazing. You pick one of 4 characters, each with totally different cards and playstyles, and try to climb the spire, battling monsters in turn-based card combat. Each turn you draw cards that let you attack, defend, or use special skills. After winning fights, you get to add new cards to your deck, creating powerful combinations as you go. What makes each run different is how you build your deck. Maybe focusing on tons of small attacks, or building up massive single hits, or creating infinite combos. Between fights, you follow a branching path where you choose between normal enemies, elites, harder but better rewards, rest sites to heal, merchants to buy cards, and random events. The game is easy to understand, but has incredible depth that keeps you coming back. I've played hundreds of hours and still discover new card interactions. Neon Abyss puts you in a colorful neon world where you're part of the Grim Squad, a team assembled by Hades himself to take down the new gods who run nightclubs in the Abyss. The gameplay is run and gun action with tight controls as you blast through rooms filled with enemies and collect tons of items that stack in crazy ways. Each run, you'll find eggs that hatch into pets that follow you around and help in different ways. Some shoot enemies, others collect items, and some even evolve over time. There are several characters to unlock, each with different starting stats and weapons. The game has this awesome system where the more rooms you clear, the more you fill up faith meters that unlock new abilities in that run. Between deaths, you spend crystals to add new items to the item pool or unlock permanent upgrades. The neon visuals pop on the Switch screen, and the thumping soundtrack keeps the energy high as you blast through each room. Skul. The Hero Slayer flips the usual hero story on its head. You play as Skul, a tiny skeleton soldier trying to save the Demon King after humans attack the castle. What makes Skul so cool is that he can swap his skull for different ones you find, completely changing how you play. Each skull type gives you different attacks and abilities. The Werewolf Skull turns you into a lightning-fast beast, while the Mage Skull lets you rain down magical attacks from a distance. You can carry 2 skulls at once and switch between them, creating all kinds of combinations. As you fight through the levels, you collect items that boost your stats and give special effects that can completely change your strategy. There's a real sense of progression as you unlock new skull types that can appear in future runs. The pixel art looks amazing with super smooth animations, especially when you're pulling off flashy combos with rare legendary skulls. Even after dozens of runs, finding a new skull type feels exciting. Into the Breach comes from the makers of FTL and puts you in control of time-traveling mech pilots trying to save humanity from giant bugs called the Vec. The game plays out on small 8x8 grid battlefields where you control 3 mechs against bugs that emerge from the ground. What's really cool is that enemies telegraph their moves in advance, turning each battle into a puzzle where you need to figure out the best way to push, pull, or damage enemies to disrupt their attacks. Your main goal isn't just killing bugs, it's protecting buildings, because each one that gets destroyed lowers the power grid, and if that hits 0, it's game over. Between battles, you island hop across different biomes with unique missions and challenges. When a run ends, win or lose, you can send one pilot back in time to start a new timeline with their experience intact, with different mech squads to unlock, each with totally different playstyles, and achievements that unlock new pilot abilities. Every run feels fresh and exciting. Shiren the Wanderer is actually one of the original roguelikes and stays true to the classic formula. You play as Shiren, a wanderer exploring Serpentcoil Island with his talking weasel friend Kappa. The game uses a turn-based system where everything in the dungeon moves when you do. Enemies only take their turn after you move or act. This creates a chess-like feel where positioning and timing matter. If you die in a dungeon, you lose all your items and return to level 1, making each decision important. The dungeons are filled with traps, monsters with unique behaviors, and items with different effects, some helpful, some harmful, and many that do different things depending on how you use them. There's a town hub where you can store items between runs and take on side quests. What I love is how deep the systems go. You can throw items at enemies, combine items for new effects, and even have monsters fight each other if you're clever. Even after playing for hours, I'm still discovering new item combinations and strategies. Shovel Knight Dig takes the beloved Shovel Knight character and drops him into a vertical roguelike where you're constantly digging downward through randomly generated levels. The story has Drill Knight stealing your loot bag, forcing you to chase him by digging deeper and deeper underground. The controls feel perfect, just like the original Shovel Knight, as you bounce on enemies with your shovel, dig through dirt, and collect gems. Each level is split into sections with branching paths, letting you choose between different challenges and rewards. As you dig, you'll find gears to spend at shops for temporary upgrades, relics that give you special abilities for that run, and armor pieces that change how you play. Between runs, you can spend the gems you've collected on permanent upgrades and unlock new shortcuts to deeper areas. The levels are designed with chunks that get mixed and matched, so they always feel handcrafted even though they're random. The colorful pixel art and catchy music make every run a joy. Downwell might look simple with its basic black, white, and red color scheme, but it packs some of the most addictive gameplay on the Switch. The entire game is about falling down a well while shooting downward with your gun boots. Yes, boots that are also guns. The controls couldn't be simpler. Move left and right and press the button to jump when on solid ground or shoot while in the air. Your gun boots have limited ammo that recharges whenever you touch the ground, creating this perfect rhythm of shooting, landing, and shooting again. As you fall, you'll encounter different enemies and obstacles, collect gems, and find side caves with power-ups and shops. Between areas, you can choose from random upgrades like drone buddies, different weapon styles for your gun boots, or extra health. The game is designed to be played in portrait mode. The Switch can be turned sideways, making it perfect for quick sessions. Despite its simplicity, mastering the combo system by bouncing on enemies without touching the ground is incredibly satisfying. Rogue Legacy 2 improves on everything that made the first game great. You play as generations of heroes trying to uncover the mystery behind the kingdom's corruption. The twist is that when you die, and you will die a lot, you choose one of 3 heirs to continue the adventure, each with different classes, spells, and traits. These traits are often both helpful and harmful. Like one character might have gigantism, making them bigger and stronger but an easier target, while another might have vertigo, which flips the screen upside down. As you explore the randomly generated castle and its surrounding biomes, you collect gold to spend on permanent upgrades to your family's manor, which makes future generations stronger. The sequel adds way more classes beyond the basic knight, mage, and archer. Now you can play as chefs who throw pans, bards who attack with music notes, and gunslingers with rapid-fire weapons. The art style got a huge upgrade with hand-drawn characters that animate beautifully against the colorful backgrounds. With secrets to discover and challenging bosses to defeat, each run pushes you just a bit further into the story. Astral Ascent puts you in a magical prison called the Garden, where you play as one of 4 Zodiacs, magical heroes, trying to escape by defeating the 12 Zodiac Guardians who act as wardens. The game plays like a smooth action platformer with tight controls as you run, jump, and dash through rooms fighting enemies. Each character has a completely different playstyle. Ayla uses magic daggers for quick attacks. Kieran has a bow for ranged combat. Callie uses a magic whip, and Octave punches with powerful gauntlets. What makes combat so fun is the spell system. You can equip and upgrade different spells that completely change how you approach battles. Between runs, you spend resources to unlock permanent upgrades, new spells, and advance character stories in the hub world. The hand-drawn art style looks gorgeous with vibrant colors and smooth animations that pop on the Switch screen. The game also features local co-op, so a friend can join your escape attempt. With 4 characters to master and tons of spell combinations to experiment with, Astral Ascent keeps me coming back for just one more run. Enter the Gungeon is the perfect blend of bullet hell action and roguelike progression. The game takes place in the Gungeon, gun plus dungeon, get it? A constantly shifting labyrinth filled with living bullets and gun-themed enemies. You play as one of 4 Gungeoneers, each with different starting weapons and abilities, on a quest to find the ultimate prize, a gun that can kill the past. The gameplay is top-down twin-stick shooting, where dodging is just as important as shooting. The dodge roll gives you a few frames of invincibility to pass through bullet patterns that fill the screen. What makes each run exciting is finding new guns. There are over 300 weapons ranging from normal pistols to ridiculous ones like a gun that shoots bees or a mailbox that fires packages. Between floors, you can find shops to buy new items, NPCs to rescue who help you in future runs, and secrets hidden in walls. The pixel art style is full of personality, with enemies that have visual puns and guns with unique reload animations. Even after hundreds of deaths, finding a new synergy between items or discovering a secret room keeps me saying just one more run. The Binding of Isaac. Afterbirth Plus is probably the game that made roguelikes popular in the first place. You play as Isaac, a little kid who escapes into his basement to get away from his mom who's trying to sacrifice him. Yeah, it's pretty dark. Each run takes you through randomly generated rooms filled with monsters, where you shoot tears as your main weapon. The cool thing about Isaac is how items stack and combine in weird ways. Pick up one item that makes your tears bigger, another that makes them explode, another that splits them into 4, and suddenly you're super powerful. There are hundreds of items to find, and you never know what you'll get next. Each floor ends with a boss fight, and the game has multiple endings depending on how far you go. I've put over 300 hours into this game, and I'm still finding new item combinations. 30X is like if Mega Man got turned into a roguelike, and it's awesome. You play as either Nina with her blaster arm, or Ace with his energy sword, as you jump and dash through randomly generated levels full of robots and hazards. The controls feel amazing. Wall jumping, air dashing, and sliding all feel super smooth. What I love about 30XX is that after you beat a boss, you get to choose a new power, like a flamethrower, a drill attack, or a shield. Each run feels different based on which powers you collect. There's also a permanent upgrade system where you spend the nuts and bolts you collect to get stronger for future runs. The game has this beautiful pixel art style with vibrant colors that really pop on the Switch screen. You can even play the whole game in co-op, which turns an already fun game into total chaos in the best way possible. Dead Cells calls itself a Roguevania because it combines roguelike elements with Metroidvania-style exploration and movement. You play as the Prisoner, a pile of cells that takes over a headless body to escape an ever-changing island prison. The combat feels incredible, responsive, fast, and brutal with tons of weapons to find like swords, bows, whips, and magic spells. Each weapon has a unique attack pattern and special effects. As you explore, you'll find permanent upgrades called runes that give you new movement abilities like growing a vine to reach high places or smashing through weak floors. What keeps me coming back to Dead Cells is how it rewards different playstyles. You can focus on being super fast, or hitting hard, or setting traps. Between runs, you spend the cells you've collected to unlock new weapons and upgrades that can appear in future attempts. The game is challenging but fair, and that one more run feeling is stronger here than almost any other game. Hades is the game that got so many people into roguelikes, and for good reason. You play as Zagreus, son of Hades, who's trying to escape the underworld to find his mother. Each escape attempt takes you through randomly arranged rooms with different enemies, and you choose your path based on the rewards offered, new abilities, currency, upgrades, and more. The combat feels amazing as you dash around dodging attacks while using your weapon and special abilities. What makes Hades stand out is the story. Every time you die, you return to the House of Hades, where you can talk to all these Greek gods and mythological characters who remember your previous attempts and comment on what happened. The game has incredible voice acting, beautiful art, and music that gets you pumped for each fight. As you play, you unlock permanent upgrades and form relationships with characters that actually matter to the story. Even after dozens of hours, I'm still finding new dialogue and secrets. There you have it, my top 20 roguelike games on Nintendo Switch. These games all offer something unique and are perfect for picking up and playing whenever you have a few minutes or several hours. Which roguelike on Switch is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below if you agree with my list or if I missed any games you love. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to SwitchTop for more Nintendo Switch content every week. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video.